Hi everybody, this is Agnes from Sediment, and today we all just need to chill. Our wines. Or maybe not. Let's find out. Let's talk about wine and temperature. In my wine courses and masterclasses, I have noticed that some people are confused about this particular topic. So first of all, let's get one thing straight. There is a difference between the serving temperature and storage temperature. Therefore, if, for example, you are looking for a wine fridge that will only be used for storage, you really don't need one with dual temperature zones. This is because all wines, regardless of color, can be aged at the same temperature, which should be between 12 and 16 degrees Celsius. More importantly, it should be consistent. But I have talked about wine storage tips, tricks, and myths in another video, which I will link up here. So today, let's solely focus on wine serving temperature. In a perfect world, wine waiters and sommeliers would take care of your bottle of wine and bring it just at the right temperature. And they would also make sure you are fine with the temperature it is being served at. In a less than perfect world, sommeliers might chill your wine bottle in the ice bucket forever or suggest to warm it up by placing it on the radiator. But why is the serving temperature so important? The reality is that it affects how we perceive wine, including its flavors, structure, and mouthfeel. So today, let's discuss 6 points that I really don't want to call rules that you might want to consider when serving wine. White wine should be served slightly chilled. The reason we generally serve white wines at lower temperature is because they usually contain minimal, if any, tannins. Tannins are the structural elements in the wine that become more pronounced with lower temperature. Additionally, white wines also tend to have a brighter and more pronounced acidity than the red wines. With lower temperatures, I don't want to say that acidity is more pronounced, but rather becomes more focused and refreshing on the palate. As a result, white wines with higher acidity levels are typically served cooler than white wines with lower acidity levels. Depending on the wine style, I prefer my white wines to be served at the temperature 8 to 12 degrees Celsius. White wines should be served chilled, but not too chilled. Early in my wine career, I was working at a fancy wine bar where we had a customer who would always order a nice bottle of Grand Cru Chablis. We stored our white wines in the fridge at temperature of around 6 to 8 degrees Celsius, which in my opinion is still too cold for such a wine. But in this case, it is better to have slightly chilled wine than warm, as it will quickly reach the ideal temperature when poured in the wine glass. Nevertheless, this customer insisted on chilling that Grand Cru bottle down to 2 degrees Celsius and maintaining that temperature. Now, don't get me wrong, he ordered that wine, he paid for that wine, he can do whatever he wants with that wine. However, I really wish to offer this piece of advice. If you serve your wine at temperatures so low, there is no need to order Grand Cru Chablis. A regular Pinot Grigio will do the trick. With temperatures so low, you don't get to experience the nuanced aroma and flavor complexity that the wine has to offer. Instead, you hide it all. In fact, a great sommelier will ask you whether you would like to keep your wine bottle in an ice bucket or maybe keep it on the table. If that question is ever asked to you, know you are in the good hands. The lower the quality, the colder the temperature can be. As I mentioned earlier, low temperatures hide the aroma nuances and consequently the overall taste in wine. This could be a drawback for a premium quality, complex wine that has a lot to offer. However, for a simpler wine that is quick on the palate and oftentimes limited flavor-wise, you might as well keep it in your ice bucket throughout. This will hide its imperfections and certainly will add some freshness on the palate. Similarly to white wines, sparkling wines should also be served chilled. Books usually say that serving temperature for sparkling wine should be slightly lower than that of a white wines. However, in my personal opinion, this temperature shouldn't be too different from what you would use to serve white wines. 8 to 12 degrees Celsius. Just as with white wines, the lower the quality of sparkling wines, the cooler the temperature can be. And the opposite works as well. I recall one great meeting with a friend where we ordered a nice glass of champagne. The champagne was served really cold. I tasted it. I wasn't impressed by it, so I just left it on the table. However, as it gradually warmed up, it opened whole different aromas, layers of them, filled with citrus, white florals, and brioche notes. In this particular situation, temperature played a crucial part. If your wine has nothing to hide, it might be even advisable to serve it slightly warmer than what the books say. Red wines should be served at a room temperature. The reason why red wines are usually served warmer than white wines is because of their tannins. Lower temperatures tend to accentuate these phenolic compounds, making them seem more robust, harsh, unripe, and oftentimes aggressive. For this reason, higher temperatures allow tannins to soften on our palates. However, when talking about room temperature, I'm not referring to the standards of the 21st century. Instead, it should be closer to 17 or 18 degrees Celsius. Additionally, there are certain wines that I believe would benefit if served at the room temperature my father prefers, which is between 15 and 16 degrees Celsius, slightly cooler. Some red wines I prefer slightly chilled are Beaujolais and lighter styles of Pinot Noir, but also fresh and young Zinfandels, especially those having some sweetness at the back palate. And many fresh, juicy, and easy-drinking Italian reds such as Dolcetto, Barbera, and Chiantis are also great if served slightly chilled. Wrong serving temperature might ruin your wine. The truth is, if served at warmer temperature, wine might seem unbalanced. Alcohol might become more pronounced or even bite. Unpleasant and volatile elements could dominate both the nose and palate. Just as with cold temperatures, certain red wines might taste thin and robust. And let's not overlook the fact that serving your wine too cold can result in missing out on the tastes or aromas the wine was made to deliver you. But please, please, please remember this. If you wish your wine to be more chilled, go ahead and chill it. If you prefer it warmer, let it warm up. It is your wine after all, and you are the one who is enjoying it. You can play by the rules to explore what suits your taste preferences most, and then just feel free and forget about them. Anyway, wine world has too many rules, including wine decanting and aeration, which in my opinion is overrated, and I talk about it in this video.